You ready?
Yes.
Cool. Go ahead and intro whenever you're ready.
Oh, jeez, I forgot that you do this, Ty.
We never have to. I'm always happy to do an intro.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready. Oh no, it is I who has to say words.
It is I who must be ready.
Oh, how do I want to do this? Knock, knock.
Hello. Who's there?
Side character guest. You invited me over.
Okay. All right. Here we are. That was a very good. That was a very good and funny joke. I love it.
No, it wasn't.
I love
You
it.
don't have to lie to me.
I love it. I'm not lying to you. I'm lying to the audience. You know the truth.
It's true. I know it in my heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Side Character Quest. This is a wonderful D&D show. This is good times. We're all gonna have fun and tell fun and funny jokes.
Don't patronize me, Ty. I already feel enough shame.
Well, I also feel a little bit of shame right now. So just so you, the listeners, know what's going on right now, I do not have a actual good I never have a good recording studio, but I usually have a space that I use. But instead I've hauled my entire desktop into a spare bedroom. I've draped a blanket over it to try to muffle some of the sounds, and I'm just kind of on the floor in front of my monitor, trying to give you guys some sweet dulcet tones. It's a weird position is what I'm trying to say. And if there's any weird noises, I apologize. Hopefully that won't last for long.
Yeah, well, we make do with what we have. I think that's mostly all life. We make do.
We make do. That is the human condition that we are all living again. Except for someone, a good friend of ours, Deirdre, who's only living in the half-human condition as half-orc. See, that's that sort of good joke, fun times that I was talking about in the intro.
Now, see, you're assuming that she's half orc, half human. She could be half orc, half anything.
That's true. She could be half orc a lot of stuff. She could be half orc, half pepperoni pizza. There you go.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know. Debatable. You don't know this the lore of this world, the hidden lore of this world.
No, I listened to Lore's Arc.
Okay. All right, how about we get into this show? Oh, wait, I guess we should just do a quick recap for listeners.
We went through a marsh. Madz is here. Mazn's here. Mazn is a possum that Madz is trying to pass off as a wizard familiar. Madz still under the impression that I am a wizard. Incorrect. We made it through the soft ground. We got into a shitty tower.
Yes.
We met a hobgoblin that knows me. Deirdre is thrown off. I believe that is where we were left off.
That is where we left off. Also, a little behind the scenes. It's been a while since we last recorded.
It's been 1 week.
It's been a lot more than 1 week, but
It's been
at least a month, right?
It's been at least a month and a half.
Ugh, it's too much. It's too much. You find yourself at the door of this tower, of Orion's tower. He has just greeted you as something akin to an old friend. And he also, as you are standing there, he notices Madz behind you, and his eyes widen slightly, and he nods kindly, and then steps backwards from the doorway and says,
"Well, hello, friends, Deirdre, and who is your friend here?"
Their name is Madz. They are under the false impression that I can teach them how to be a wizard.
Yeah.
She's not gonna shake me off that easily.
Oh, okay. Child, if you would like to learn more about the ways of magic at some point, perhaps I could show you some things. But that's for another time.
And he steps backwards and allows you to step into the tower. I assume you do so, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a quick reminder of what Sage Orion looks like. As you mentioned in the recap, he is a hobgoblin. He's got sort of reddish orange skin, not unlike the color of the clay around your cathedral home. He has a shaved beard, but there's clearly some stubble there. He's around your height, pretty heavily muscled, good posture, and he's wearing well-kept but not fancy robes. That's generally what the vibe you get from him. And stepping back and allowing you through, you step into a space that you expect to be, stone. You expect to be dark, maybe lit by some candlelight, cold, unfeeling, unpleasant space, based on the look of the tower and where you've been. But instead, you step into somewhere beautiful. The space you have entered is on your trips with... Let me ask you something. On your trips with Father Crayon, tell me about the most beautiful, one of your favorite places that you've seen.
Ooh. Most beautiful favorite place. I feel like you've asked me this before, and I cannot remember what I've said.
If you want, I could. I think I did ask you that, and I could scroll through your messages and see what you said.
That'll take a while. I think there was a meadow.
A meadow with maybe there were birds or some type of tree or something.
I think there's just there's off the road between these two towns. There's the woods, and from the road you can just kind of get a glimpse of this meadow, and they've camped in it a couple of times, and it's just a beautifully geometrical area where the sky is always clear, and there's wildflowers that grow during a certain time of year, and she just always tries to time it as much as she can so that they can camp there. But if it doesn't work out, she's not going to insist on it.
Gotcha. When you step into this space, you see trees lining a open meadow. There's grass on the ground, but unlike the grass that was in the field leading up here, which was scraggly, which was faded, this is a deep, deep shade of green. And there are the same wildflowers from that meadow of your dreams that you used to travel to with Father Crayon. This is not the same meadow, obviously. It's not the exact same place, but it calls to your mind that same exact memory.
Okay, I was about to be all Deirdre is incredibly suspicious.
No, this does not appear to be the exact same space. It doesn't have that same geometric feel, for instance. In fact, it's kind of hard to tell the... clearly, you are... Well, roll me a perception check right now.
I'd love to. What does a 22 get me?
Yeah, okay, I'll give you a lot. So you can tell a few things right away. One is that although the tower that you stepped into, you had a fairly good sense of the size of it, this field, this meadow that you're in, is clearly, you can see much farther than you should be able to. You don't see a wall at all. You can see the trees going off into the distance. You do notice that the actual space of the sort of grass before the tree line seems to be roughly the right size for the tower. You notice there's a few large rocks that are perfect, rocks and logs that are perfect size for people to sit on. You also notice that there is what appears to be some sort of grandfather clock kind of thing sitting off to the side near one of the trees, leaning against one of the trees. And also off to your right, directly to the right of the doorway that you've just stepped through, there is a staircase going up. And the staircase appears to be the same material as the tower outside.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Would Deirdre know what a clock is?
Roll me a history check. That's a perfect history check. I'm gonna say that it's very unlikely, but
That's a 25.
Okay, so yeah, I would say that in your past travels, you've never seen one that's been operational, but at one point when exploring that ruined city that is near the cathedral, you found a clock and had asked, or Father Crayon had explained to you what it was, that it was for timekeeping. You've never seen one actually working before, but you immediately draw that comparison to your mind. And you do notice that the gears on this clock appear to be sort of like click, 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 like they're trying to move but are kind of like stuck. And
There's no time.
as you are looking at that, Orion sort of looks towards the clock as well, and then he turns and looks out the door, and he says,
Oh, sorry, this thing always gets stuck.
and he walks over to the clock and hits it a couple of times, and then the click, 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 it pops and then just starts whirring very quickly to sort of catch up to a particular point. And as it's whirring quickly to catch up, you notice the shadows shifting in this meadow space. You notice flowers that had been closed going into full bloom and then starting to shift with the moving sun. And you notice the bird song that has been accompanying this field start to shift to the chirping of cicadas as the sun starts to set, matching the time outside of the tower.
Do I feel like I've aged?
No.
Deirdre looking with horror.
I was thinking about having you roll for this, but I think that particular question, no, you don't feel your body react to this at all. Yeah, that does not seem to be affecting you. If you want to know more about this, you could roll a Arcana check or history check, or you could ask Orion what the situation is.
I mean, Deirdre's not naturally curious. However, I'm sure Madz is fascinated.
Madz has been like grabbing your what I forget. What is your travel attire?
She's got vestments. They're simple. They've been mended time and time again.
Gotcha.
There's probably a robe involved.
Madz is tugging on your clothes as all of this happens, and Madz is like,
Deirdre, what is this magic? What are they doing? What's happening? This is crazy.
I would assume it's magic, yes.
Are they, excuse me, Mr.
and Madz like just sort of pushes past you, not like pushing you backwards or anything, but just stepping past you very forcefully.
Excuse me, Mr. Orion, sir, what is all this? What's going on? I don't understand.
And Orion looks down at them and just sort of crouches a little bit, very, very slowly, like comes down to their level and says,
Well, there's a lot to be gained from the study of magic, child, and if you dedicate yourself for many years, then perhaps someday you'll come to find some of the secrets that your friend and I have.
Orion looks up at you and winks at that. And then Madz like turns and looks at you, and you just see them mouth under their breath, "Wizard."
Deirdre kind of like has the faintest smile. And she kind of mouths back, I'm not a wizard.
Well, at any rate,
Sage Orion stands up and leans backwards, stretches their back a couple of times. They turn to you and say,
so how was your trip, Deirdre? It's been a long time. It seems like you've grown. You seem like you can handle yourself now.
Yes, thank you. It was uneventful. Except for Madz showing up unexpectedly.
I was a boon.
You almost got yourself attacked by a guardian of faith is what you did.
Oh,
Listen, I managed to keep my distance. I'm very observant. I did a good job at not crossing the line. That's one thing that everybody says about me. I approach the line and I cross it.
by the way, during all of this, Mazn is just sort of like clutching to their head.
This possum is also a hat.
So,
I don't remember. What time had I said it was before? Do you remember?
I don't, but I think you just had the suns going down. There's
Gotcha.
cicadas chirping.
Gotcha.
well, at any rate, after such a long journey, I know that you must be tired. You and your companion must be tired. How about I show you to a place to rest your feet?
That would be amenable. Is there a place where my mule Veritas could be sheltered?
So you may not remember this or perhaps this is, you want something better than this. In the last episode, you tied up Veritas under a covered sort of, not quite a stable, but like a very clearly a spot to where you could tie up steeds.
Yeah, but is there food? Is
Is there
water?
food?
How is it gonna be cold out there?
Oh man, is it going to be cold out there? Okay.
Well, I don't really have anything better than...
And he looks once again out the door, which is still open at this point. He looks out the door towards where you have Veritas tied up.
Well, I don't really have a spot that's better than that, but I do have some food and some water. I could bring it out. I'll bring out some later. I also have some blankets if you need to make sure they're warm through the night. Just sort of drape over them, I guess. I apologize. I don't keep a steed my own, so I'm not as well equipped as Crayon normally is. I apologize.
It's quite all right. I can care for him as long as there are supplies. I mean, I have some feed, but I'd rather keep that for the travel back.
Of course.
And he does one of those wide sweeping gestures towards the stairwell that is like cutting along what must be a wall of the tower, but up into the trees. Madz runs up those stairs, and like you just hear like clip 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 as his feet as their feet go popping up the stairs.
Yeah, Deirdre is much calmer.
But you follow?
Yeah.
Okay. As you make your way up, you see the magical imagery of this open field very quickly just sort of fades from your view, but in a way that is not very easy to reconcile in your mind. Like it doesn't quite make sense how it disappears. It's not like a hard, line, like a cut where it just one moment it's this, one moment it's that. It's just you don't quite notice it shifting. It just suddenly isn't there anymore. And you find yourself in a very normal stairwell of a stone tower. After you've gone maybe 10 feet up, you open up into a much plainer section, a much plainer area. It's basically just, there's another stairwell you see leading higher up the tower that continues from this one. But there's also a pantry of some sort. There's a few cots, a table, just sort of like a dining area kind of thing. You see some scattered cutlery. It's clean, but it's very utilitarian, very clearly incredibly old. This was not something that you would assume that Orion built. This is something that has been around for a very, very long time. And as you open up onto that spot, you find Madz is just like pulling open boxes, opening up the cabinets and chests, and just going through everything that's up there. And as behind you, Orion steps up the stairs, he gives you a just sort of raises one of his eyebrows and looks over at Madz, and then looks back at you.
Deirdre just kind of does like the smallest shrug and then goes, Madz, that is incredibly rude and I would appreciate if you stopped. We are a guest in Sage Orion's home.
Would that be a persuasion or intimidation?
I feel like even if she's not really trying, Deirdre is more intimidate than persuade.
That's fair. Let's roll a quick the wisdom check.
That's only an 11.
Well, Madz got a 3.
Oh, good. Even though her heart's not in it, it might still be effective.
Yes, exactly. So you say that to Madz, and they look over towards you and see the look from you and see the look from Orion, who previously had seemed bemused by them, and now seemed, you can tell looking at their face, they look a little annoyed by Madz's behavior. And so Madz, chagrined, lowers their head and just says,
Oh, I'm sorry. Just sort of making my bed.
and you see them grab a couple of blankets and drag them over to one of the cots and sit down.
Is all of the stuff like on one side of the room and the cot's on the other, or is it all kind of just around?
It's all kind of just around. I would say that the far end of it is where the storage containers are, and then there's the cots mostly on one side and then the dining table on the other side. But it's a circular tower, so it's not like it clearly the stuff has been shuffled around a bit. Like there's not a very obvious right way to have these pieces of furniture. They don't seem like very well organized in this room.
All right, so there's no way that I can just get between the stuff and Madz. Unfortunate.
I mean, you probably could. You probably could if you wanted to, like, set up a... Like, do you mean you just want to physically stand in their way right now?
No, just, like, have the cot be...
Oh, have your cot be between...
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. You could take a cot that's closer to the storage containers than them, but they could pretty easily walk around you if they wanted to.
I put my stuff on that cot and I look very pointedly at them.
Yeah, they look a little like, oh, okay, and lower their head a bit.
All right, I'm just gonna sit here. Mazn, let's get to our studies.
And they grab Mazn off their head, plop them down on the bed next to them, and start just sort of saying under their breath, "Thok, thok," as they practice their cantrips, which they don't have. Sage Orion. Sage Orion. Oh, go ahead.
Deirdre's not cut out to be a mother.
Sage Orion chuckles to himself, looking at you and looking at Madz. Then he gestures towards you and gestures towards the stairs leading higher up.
I will follow direction if I am being told to go first.
They walk up before you do.
Okay.
There's sort of the implicit. Well, I'll just make it explicit. If you'd like to talk later, I will be in my study above. Feel free to come upstairs. Just announce yourself as you come up the stairs. Otherwise, feel free to rest through the night. However you see fit.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Of course. A friend of Crayon's or Alberta's is a friend of mine. And, well, it's good to see that you're doing well.
Thank you. It appears that you are doing well as well.
Yes.
And he proceeds up the stairs into his study.
And Deirdre goes down the stairs.
Really? Okay.
I haven't taken care of Veritas yet. I've got to take off his packs, take off his bridle. Got to give him a little pat down, give him one of those blankets that was pointed out to me earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Put out some feed, some water, tell him a good night story, you know.
Good. When you get down there, are you just using your own feed, your own water?
Unless, like, some was, like, pointed out during that conversation earlier, then...
No, none was pointed out. He indicated that he had some somewhere, but you see, like, you see there's a, sort of trough and then a little spot. There's a place to put water and food, but you don't see where the supply would be coming from. But yeah, there are those blankets. There are all of those things. And you go and you go give Veritas a little attention.
Yup. And then once that's done, I go back up and try to make sure that Madz did not get into any trouble while I was gone.
When you come back up, there is a tent of blankets over their cot. But other than that, you don't see any, like, mess going on or anything like that.
That's acceptable. Yeah, then Deirdre will go to sleep. She'll say her prayers and go to sleep.
Hello and welcome to Minor Character Quest, a special sponsored segment brought to you by Flying Crow Coffee. Flying Crow Coffee, super fresh coffees roasted in tiny batches. They're so small, you guys. It's crazy. Today we're joined by our old friend Eli. Say hi, Eli.
Hi.
Who will be doing a minor quest with his character. I did not write down the name.
My character is Iedos Kerian.
I would have to pronounce that. Okay, I'm glad I didn't write this one down.
Iedos Kerian is a level 5 tiefling ranger / hitman.
Nice. Are you ready for your quest, Eli?
I'm always ready.
You are standing in the shadows of a dark room. Under the only light in this room, you watch 3 figures talking. None of them seem to notice you. As you finish returning to the theater seat from your bathroom break, you find a burly man has taken your spot. What do you do?
Is there an empty spot behind him?
Roll me a perception check.
13.
You do spot an empty chair, but it's 4 or 5 rows back.
Okay, then here's what I do. Is he eating popcorn?
He is eating popcorn.
Okay. I'm going to squeeze past him and drop a little bit of laxative into his popcorn.
Roll me a sleight of hand check. We're looking for
That's
a 12.
19.
Oh! You manage to slip a little bit of laxative into this man's popcorn as you squeeze past. You still don't have a chair, but you do have a sense of righteous indignation and vengeance, knowing that this man is about to have his night ruined. Congratulations on surviving your minor character quest. Well, that was fun. Thanks again to Flying Crow Coffee. Make sure to use the discount code SEQ10 at checkout to let them know we sent you, and to get 10% off a single order or off your first subscription order. Find them at flyingcrowcoffee.com.
That sounds like I was going against Flying Crow Coffee. I was trying to do what I did in the first one where I
You
have
have a sound effect that
at the
applies.
end.
I appreciate.
Oh, and here's a sound effect for the restaurant one.
Back to the show. You wake up. It's the middle of the night. Looking off to the side, you see Madz sitting or laying on their cot. They're sort of sprawled out with the blanket only partially covering them, one of their legs like sticking out wildly. And you see that Mazn is sort of wandering through the room right now, just kind of moving around. But they're quiet. They're not making a fuss or anything. Do you normally
They're
sleep?
not hissing at anybody.
They're not hissing at anybody. They're not doing anything like that. Do you normally sleep through the night? Is this strange for you to be woken up in the middle of the night?
She probably sleeps less well when she is in an unfamiliar place. Mm-hmm. Because she's used to being on the road where anything could really happen.
Gotcha. Roll me a perception check.
Oh, boyo. Let me see if I can find one of my fun D20s. That's a 16.
Okay. So while you're sitting there, you hear it's very muffled from inside of the tower, especially considering the fact that there are no windows on this level. But you hear a sound that you swear is the sound of Veritas hee-hawing or whinnying or whatever it is a mule does.
Do mules bray?
Bray. Bray sounds like the right word. Hee-haw feels a little diminutive in a way that I don't want.
How's your dramatic moment where you hear your mule hee-hawing in the distance?
Exactly. But yes, the sound they make is loud and sounds frightened.
Cool. I pick up my maul and go downstairs.
Cool. As you get to the ground level, you hear the click, 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 click of the clock, which has gotten stuck again, this time with the time set around midnight. So it's hard to tell what time it actually is right now, but it's definitely looks like night right now. And as you, I assume you just open the door downstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you open the door, you see that it's definitely still night. You open up, you look, and you see Veritas, and they are braying. And when they look towards you, there is they do that little thing that horses do, where they horses and mules do, where they kind of like stamp their feet in a bit of a panic. And roll me a perception check again.
Jesus, that's only a 6.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
they look. Veritas, he looks a little like panicked. He looks a little scared. He looks reassured, maybe, that you're there. But that's all you're sort of picking up from them. It's dark out right now. You know, there's cloud cover, so I'm not sure if there's a moon out right now, but you definitely can't see it.
I cast light.
Okay, you cast light. When you cast light, you see a glint off of Veritas's back hoof. And looking at that glint, there is just this flat structure sort of piercing out of the ground. And it's this many-faceted, like large flat sheets that have a slight sheen to them, especially now in the glow of your light spell. And they have like all come up and sort of encased their back hoof.
Oh, well, I don't like that at all.
At the same time that you notice that, what is your AC? Well, don't tell me your AC. I'm just going to ask you if something hits. Does a 15 hit your AC?
My AC is 15.
All right, so I believe that does hit then, and you get hit by
A smooth criminal?
You get hit by a smooth criminal, Shimon and all of that. You get hit by a massive, just hunk of flesh slams against the back of, not literally. I mean, I guess literally, but not just a hunk of flesh. There's bone, there's claw, there's fur. Slams against your side and knocks into you, dealing. That's a lot. 10 slashing damage.
That's fine.
Oof. And how do you react when this happens? Do you like go into a defensive position? Like what is your do you run towards Veritas? Like what is your first action?
Well, I just got smacked from behind, yeah?
Yeah, from behind.
I would whip around Maul first.
Nice. And you see in front of you a large brown bear. It is roughly, I mean, it's this close. It's hard to tell exactly how big it is, but this close, it feels plenty big. It is large. It is thick. It is muscular. And there's these lines of just this stone, this crackly stone protruding from various parts of its body, cracking through it, corrupting its normal form.
Does it look like the stuff that's on Veritas now?
It does look like the stuff that is trapping Veritas's foot. Yes.
I hate it. Oh, I hate this.
Actually, roll me initiative, because I think that was a surprise attack from the brown bear, but let's see if they get another attack off on you.
Time for initiative. 8.
Ooh, they got a 10.
How come my first 2 rolls are an 18 and a 19, and then everything else has been just terrible?
Everything that's mattered.
Right?
Yeah, this bear, it reaches, after it has swiped at you and you've turned to look at it, to hold out this maul towards it, it drops back down onto all fours and pounds into the ground. And as it does, those stone flakes that are piercing out of it coalesce and just sort of give a hard shell over, covering more of its body.
Oh, stone skin. Oh, is that its whole turn?
That is all it does that turn, yes.
Okay. Oh, I don't like this at all. Do I fight the bear? Or do I risk getting hit again and trying to free Veritas? I wish I had spell cards so I could remember what all these spells do.
Yeah, I feel you.
How much damage does Burning Hands actually do? Oh, that's actually that's a cone spell. I don't want to catch anything else on fire.
Now there isn't a lot in here that you could catch on fire except for the I guess there's a little bit of grass on the ground. There's those wooden punji pits spikes, and I guess the structure that Veritas is under. Those are all wood. Everything else is stone or steel.
And the bear is towards the stone and the steel?
Yes, you were facing towards Veritas. The bear was behind you. So you have turned around and are facing the bear, which is away from Veritas.
Yeah, I'll Burning Hands it.
Okay, cool.
Each creature in a 15-foot cone must make a dexterity saving throw.
Fun fact, bear ain't dexterous.
Yeah, I would assume not.
11.
My spell save DC is 14. So you do not dodge out of the way. Let me find some d6. That'll be 8 damage. 8 fire damage.
Nice. Tell me what that looks like.
She holds out her hands and just fire. Just like her hands turn into flamethrowers for a second.
Awesome.
Pretty much.
Awesome. The fire bursts out and blazes against the sort of stone mica armor that is covering this brown bear, and the stone does not seem to protect it at all. The bear reels back in fear from this intense heat that overwhelms it, and it steps back a few steps. But then it's going to. Do you have anything else you can do this turn?
Gods, I wish I had spell cards so I would know which one, if any of these, are bonus actions. Oh, I've got Healing Word. Do you allow 2 spells in one turn?
I don't believe so.
Well, then I will move away from the bear.
Okay, you'll move over towards Veritas?
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
get his foot unstuck and out of the pseudo stable.
Okay. As you start to step away, the brown bear is going to take an opportunity attack,
Yep.
and that is going to be 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
And so he's biting at you right now, whereas before he had slashed.
Yeah.
And geez, I was doing the bite because the bite is less dangerous. It still did 10 damage.
That's fine.
Oh gosh. So
I'm still above half.
still above half. Now it is their turn, and they are going to. Actually, I'm going to roll a couple other things real quick. Okay, good. So the bear is going to slam down its paws again. It is still very angry at the fire that is still burning on the grass around it, and you see bits of its fur are still aflame, and it slams its paws down, and a hunk of stone ripples through the ground towards you, and then is going to pop up around your feet. And I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. 16?
Yeah, dog. You hop out of the way and maybe like bat at the stone that like pops up and would have caught your foot. Bat at it with your mace and just shatter it, and then are safe next to Veritas. The bear is then going to start moving in your direction, but it moves. It moves slowly, as if unconcerned about your ability to get away or to harm it.
Okay.
By the time it is your turn again, it is roughly 10 feet away.
So it's my turn.
Yes.
It is 10 feet from me.
Yes.
Then 20 feet away from me, I am maybe 25 feet away from me. I'm
Just to
gonna
be safe.
cast just to be safe. I'm gonna cast Fireball.
Holy shit. Oh, goodness. I did tell you there's a lot of space, so yeah. Yeah, go for it. How that do?
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
I did tell you that dexterity is not their strong suit.
I mean, it's a bear,
It's a bear.
made of stone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect it to be.
So it rolls an 8.
An 8
Yes,
total?
8 total.
Buddy, that's not gonna fly. Alright, okay. Give me a second to count these.
Go for it.
That's 25 fire damage.
All right. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, so describe to me what this looks like.
Oh, sorry, 27. I didn't see one of the die.
Jeez. Okay, cool. Yeah, this thing is not quite dead, but is terribly damaged. What does it look like when you call down this holy fireball?
Deirdre is pissed. So she makes it to Veritas, turns around, sees that the bear is pursuing her, and as soon as she can, she says her prayer, grasps her holy symbol, and just points 25 feet away from herself, knowing full well how big this thing is. And it just goes.
Yeah, this creates a blast. You feel this heat radiating off of, even though you're in the safe zone technically, it's just overwhelming.
Deirdre plays with fire all the time. She is fine.
Yeah, she's okay. And Veritas actually is surprisingly okay, just because they're with you all the time. They've seen this sort of thing. They're freaked out, but they're more freaked out by the bear situation than the fire.
And the can't move my foot situation.
And the can't move my foot, that's the real thing holding them back. But the fire is not so bad. Right as that happens, basically as the fireball is about to ignite, you see the door open and you see Madz poke their head out, and then you see their eyes get very, very wide. The door slams shut, and them hop back inside as the wave of fire just erupts out and slams into the door as well as the bear.
Smart kid.
And right as
That probably would have killed Madz.
that would not have been great. They don't. Fun fact about Madz, don't got a lot of health.
Good thing I always have Revivify on hand.
Excellent. But right after that happens, right after the wave of fire hits the door, and you find yourself just sort of standing there in front of this bear, which is in flames and looking shaken, and much more of it is covered in flames than it was before. You hear the door open, and you hear the sound of as Madz comes running out and jumps up into the air and takes their brass knuckles with how do I want to describe this thing? I have this cool weapon in my mind, and I don't know the best way to actually describe how they use it. But whatever. They come running out, jump up into the air, and slam their hand into this bear, stabbing it, or attempting to stab it. And they just hit, just barely, and do...
God, I hope they kill it.
They do 2 damage.
Is it enough?
It is not quite enough.
Ah, that would have been rad.
So just so you know, I rolled them into initiative, and they rolled an 18. So they have arrived just at this point. And then the next person up is Sage Orion. You see,
I was gonna say Orion. Hopefully, this is his goddamn house.
you hear a voice call out from high up above. And you look up and see the light from his study is on, and you see his form reaching out, holding a small wooden rod of some sort, and he shouts down, "Kneel!" And the bear is going to roll a saving throw.
Ty, is it bad that my first thought was, who's Neil? Is Neil the bear?
The Neil is the bear, obviously.
The bear's name is Neil, and he's been a naughty boy.
No.
Attacking guests.
The bear rolled a 9, so they fail their wisdom saving throw. And you see this bear, which appeared to have been near death. You see its body just completely lock up. And you see it just fall forward onto the ground. It does not kneel, really, but it does come to a standstill, and is no longer moving. And as that happens, Madz starts to they raise their hand up and are bringing their dagger back down onto the bear when Orion says,
Wait, I will be there in 1 moment. Don't you touch that thing.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay.
and they sort of hop off and move away. I think possibly shaken by the fact that they just saw 2 massive, kind of scary uses of magic back to back. Then moments later, you see the door of the tower swing open, and you see Orion in a hastily thrown on robe stepping out. They are buckling. You see them buckling a belt around their waist as they're stepping out. What do you say or do anything in this moment?
The bear is like out of commission. I'm gonna check on Veritas's hoof, see if I can chip it away with my maul. If it seems like it's in the hoof, I might cast lesser restoration at it.
Gotcha. I guess that would be, give me like a medicine check or something. I don't know.
Aight.
That seems right.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Oh yeah. You don't have any. You can tell that Veritas was not injured by this. That there's maybe like a slight scrape on their knee or their leg from when they're just sort of like rubbing against the mica that has formed around them. But also you're able to pretty quickly just sort of rip this stone away from their leg. Mica's not super strong. It's pretty brittle.
Cool. I was just gonna stab key points with my mace if I needed to. So it's good to know that I don't have to risk hitting Veritas.
Oh yeah, that would be very sad.
Look, I have healing spells. If it works,
Yeah.
Veritas trusts me.
As you were helping Veritas, as you were tending to their potential wounds, you finish that up and turn and see Madz is standing next to the tower with their shoulders hunched up, trying to look as small as possible, it seems. And Orion is busily looking over this bear. And as you step closer, you see that they are tending to it in some ways. Like they seem to be looking over the wounds and like patching them up, but it is still paralyzed while they're doing all of this.
I didn't catch anything on fire, right?
I mean, there were like bits of the fur on fire, and there was like little bits of grass.
No, I mean like around.
No, nothing big. Nothing. No wooden structures were close enough for you to catch on fire.
All right, I'll stomp out my little things before they can spread.
Good.
Well, I don't know. You're here for one night. You know, if you had killed this, how much work I would have lost. I can't believe you just like Father Crayon, you never see these things for what good they can do.
It did attack me, and I show him like the scratches and the bite marks on my back.
It's an animal. What do you expect it to do? Of course it's going to attack you. You offer yourself up as some sort of threat, so obviously it's going to come for you. But you can't be angry at a thing like this for doing what it does, especially with the corruption that flows through it. It's of course it's going to do this.
I did not even see the bear before it struck me, and I came out to check on Veritas, who was frightened, because there was this, and I hold up a chunk of the mica, encasing his hoof.
Roll me a charisma check with advantage to just sort of like see if you can get him. He's clearly annoyed, but like you are very reasonable right now. So, yeah.
Deirdre's like, I'm not even mad at the bear. I was defending myself and my steed. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Charisma check with advantage?
Yeah.
19.
Oh yeah. He rolled really bad. He immediately calms down and relaxes and says,
I'm sorry. I just it's easy to. It's late. I apologize for my outburst.
And in this moment, as you look at him, you notice that he just seems he's carries himself in he looks very resigned right now. He looks very tired, more so than you would expect in this moment.
I've been working for a long time to study these creatures, and I would hate to see a specimen like this lost. Don't you go ahead and go inside. Go take your friend inside, and I'll take care of this. I'll take care of it.
Can Veritas stay in the sitting room?
Fine. Yes, of course.
I bring Veritas inside. Yeah, it's safe out here. Your mule will be fine. No, clearly not. There's a bear out here that you knew about. Jesus.
Yes, exactly. As you bring Veritas inside, you see him gathering this bear up. You see him taking out that long, or not long. It's a pretty. You see him take out that wooden wand and gesture towards the bear, causing it to become visibly lighter as he sort of picks it up and starts to move it away. And as you bring Veritas inside, you notice him walking towards the rubble of the second tower. But then you look away and you look back, and he's no longer there. You aren't sure where he has brought this bear.
That's fine. That's his business, as long as Veritas is inside.
And you bring Veritas inside, and they immediately look around, are taken aback, kind of like you guys were when you stepped into this forest clearing, and they lean over and begin to try to chew on the grass, the lush green grass that's below them, only for their teeth and their lips to pass straight through it.
Sorry, Veritas, it's still grain for dinner. And I put down the feed bag.
They turn to the feed bag and start eating from that instead, occasionally turning back towards the grass with just sort of longing.
I know, buddy.
And you make your way back to your cot. I assume you're heading back to bed?
Yeah.
You make your way back to your cot to find Madz already there with Mazn, sort of clutching Mazn around on their belly. And you lay down on the cot. And do you go straight back to sleep, or?
She probably listens for a little bit, but she does drift back off.
Okay. You sit there listening for 10, 15 minutes. You hear the sound of Madz preening over Mazn, but nothing seems to happen for a long while. Right as you're starting to drift to sleep, maybe 20, 30 minutes later, you have one of those jerks, those myoclonic jerks, those moments where you feel like you're falling and then suddenly tense up.
Oh, I hate those.
And you could have sworn that you heard some sort of cry, the same sort of fear that you had heard from Veritas, but not from a donkey, from something else, from maybe a person, maybe a wolf, maybe just some sort of animalistic sound of fear or pain. And you listen and nothing more happens. Maybe 20, 30 minutes after that, as you're finally starting to drift off again, you hear the sounds of Orion's footsteps shuffling up the stairs. And you see him pause for a moment, and you look in that direction towards the stairwell. It's too dark for him to be able to tell, but your eyes have adjusted to the darkness, and you can see him standing there. And you see him with his robes loose. You see his that wooden rod held in one of his hands, casting a very faint blue light, just enough for him to barely see as he navigates his way up the stairwell. And you also see that he looks old. And I don't mean old in the way that I meant before. No, I don't just mean tired. I mean he looks decades older than he did before. And then he continues up the stairs, and you go back to sleep. And I think that's where we're going to end today.
What a weird night for Deirdre.
What a weird night for Deirdre.
Every time she almost falls asleep, something else happens. And she's like, God, can I just get my spell slots back?
Will this have counted as an 8-hour rest? Who knows? We'll find out next time on Side Character Quest.
Well, then I guess I'd better remember how many spells I've used.
It'll count. Oh, man.
Because I don't have a pencil, so I've been using dice. So, I have 4 first level spell slots. So I had 4 dice just right on that thing, and then when I did Burning Hands, I took one and put it back in my dice tray.
Nice. Well, thank you again very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Is there anything you would like to plug other than the usual capes and japes, which, listener, check out, please. Do it now.
No, not really. I haven't started any new projects, unfortunately. I still have ideas, but then I look at them and I'm like, do I really want to start something else?
Oh,
No.
I know that feel. I know that feel so strong. That is every day for me.
Yeah. I mean, unless people want somebody to beta their fan fiction. Because I've been trying to get into that business. I find it very fun.
I'm very surprised that is actually a business, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. That's cool.
I mean, you're basically just an editor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, but other than just capes and japes.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm also on Twitter at RacetrackConlon, CONLON, and Instagram at the same name. So, come say hi, I guess.
Excellent. Go say hello to Elian and come say hi to us at SCQ Podcast. You can also, we also have a Discord. It's the Scavengers Network Discord. If you want to join, then maybe I'll add a link in the show notes, or you can just shoot me an email or shoot me a message on Twitter, and we'll get you in there. Also, while we're at it, how about you check out the Scavengers Network Patreon? By the time this comes out, we should have a good bit. Maybe not. I don't want to promise a good bit. We should have at least some side character quest bonus content. So check that out. Maybe it'd be fun and cool. Maybe you see something you like. Mm-hmm. Who knows? All right, guys. That is all. Thank you again very much for listening.
Thanks.
And with that, we're gonna pitter patter on out of here. Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejoydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
The Scavengers Network.
Creator-driven,
community-focused,
treasured content.
Podcube, podcasts from the past delivered to the future.
With Podcube's pseudo-linear 4D adiabatic qubit streaming technology, you can select any point in history and record it for personal gain.
What was the group dynamic with Australopithecus?
What brand of cigarettes did the Spanish Inquisition smoke?
Was Leonardo da Vinci a pants guy?
Or a shorts guy?
You can discover with Podcube.
Podcube's patented time-agnostic articulated Newton mechanics allow for high-definition streaming of 8 petabyte per second audio from any time or place in space or time or place.
Our Galileo Pod delivery system is unintrusive and designed to blend in, no matter when or where it goes, to deliver your Podcube.
Listen for yourself to the flagship Podcube podcast, Alabaster's Haberdashery, recorded on location in 1880.
The finest bespoke headwear, highest quality garments, and most humble haberdashery in the heart of beautiful Prumpleshire, UK.
Search Podcube, all one word, in your podcast app, or visit poweredbypodcube.com.
Podcube, the future is yesterday.
This is gonna get cut and put in the bloopers.
Hello, I'm testing my volume again. This is the volume. I'm going to speak. I don't want to speak ever louder than this. Okay, this is a good amount. Good.
I never want to talk louder than this ever in my entire life.
Never longer than this.
Never again.
Never. I have my. Oh, you have like a whole little bucket of dice. A whole little
These
rolling.
are all my Deirdre dice.
Wait, those are just Deirdre dice.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's like, even during my own outros for Capes and Japes, I always forget that sometimes I do a fun thing instead of Kiss Me Sexy Batman. So then Olivia's like, I have been Olivia, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I am Elian. If I can't think of anything on the spot, I just go with Kiss Me Sexy Batman.
It's good to have like a safe choice just in the chamber.
Yeah, there's so many times that I've cut out right after where I'm just like, I'm sorry, Olivia, I couldn't think of anything clever. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I forgot that I have an alarm that goes off 5 minutes before crit roll normally starts.
Oh, are they closed right now?
Yeah, dog. They didn't
everything's
have an
closed.
episode last week either.
Oh man. That's got to be very rough for people that are used to normal like 4 hours of content every week.
Yeah.